I've always loved anime, and if you're watching this video, I'm guessing you like anime too. As a form of media that started in the early 1900s in Japan, the first known anime is a short film called Namakura Gatana, produced in 1917. It's 4 minutes long and there's no voice acting or anything. I'm pretty sure that when you think about the word anime, this is not what comes to mind, even though the word just means animation. That's why a lot of people think that Astro Boy was the first anime. And even though it actually wasn't, it is considered the first anime to have the style that we all know and love today. During the late 1960s and 1970s, watching anime was getting a lot more popular in the West. Shows like Speed Racer started getting traction in the US, showing the possibility of animation and more complex stories to a lot of kids that only watched Western cartoons. It only got bigger and bigger, with shows like Mazinger Z and Gundam showcasing giant mechs fighting. Later on, the first Ghibli movies coming out in the 1980s, the rise of Shonen Jump in the 1990s with Dragon Ball Z and Yu Yu Hakusho. The future looked bright and kids all over the planet were enjoying anime. So, when did it all go wrong? When did it become weird? When did people start getting ashamed of watching? For those of us that started watching as kids, we probably share a similar experience. Starting watching shows like Pokemon and Digimon, just thinking they were normal cartoons. Thinking they were a bit different but still cartoons. Not thinking that later on in life we would turn into huge hentai anime fans. Now that I think about it, I just came to the realization that the Digimon Adventure movie is actually a masterpiece, like seriously. Look at this if you haven't watched it.
Izzy, why don't we just call up the Digimon on the screen and then hit delete?
Don't you think I've tried that?
If this thing is so dangerous, maybe we should call someone important like the principal or Bill Gates or
They
someone.
won't listen.
Your total comes to 1,100,000. Huh? Yeah, that's what it says. That must be really good chocolate. Paper or plastic?
After a couple of years, I just kept watching Naruto and Dragon Ball like a lot of kids did at school. I didn't even know there were other anime. I literally watched the original Dragon Ball 6 times in a row because I didn't have anything else to watch. Around this time, I'm sure we were all playing Naruto Ultimate Ninja and Budokai 3 on the PS2. Also watching Goku vs Frieza in the end AMV or Naruto vs Sasuke hunting high and low AMV. It all felt new and exciting, playing games, watching anime, and listening to Linkin Park. Those are some of the best memories I have from my childhood. But sadly, it slowly started to change. Suddenly, anime became something to be ashamed of, something most people watched in secret or got bullied because it was, well, weird. Personally, I kept watching some popular shows like Naruto, One Piece, and Hitman Reborn. Most people knew that I was a Dragon Ball fan, but I tried to hide the rest. The internet was pretty much the only place to talk about it without being judged. I never stopped watching, but by today's standards, I was a huge normie, only watching super popular shows. And yes, you might be thinking, Hitman Reborn was a popular show. Yes, but now that I think about it, it's kinda boring and I have no idea how it has such a high rating in my anime list. Please, don't hate me for saying that, and I know I can't talk about my anime list ratings because after I graduated high school, I started watching a lot more anime and realized I actually loved it and didn't care what other people thought, because anime is weird, but I'm weird too. I'm sure that we've all noticed a huge change in the last couple of years. It went from something that was completely looked down on to something that a lot more people watch, especially after Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen came out. So for new watchers, your experience is probably completely different. It was not until this year when I went on a trip to the US that I noticed that every single store had anime merch, and 3 out of every 10 guys in the mall had an anime shirt on. I was shocked, coming from a country where it's still considered kinda weird, and being glad that it was more acceptable. A couple of weeks later, I decided to download TikTok. I'm a music producer and post my music there, and I noticed that there was a huge community of new fans making content debating about who is the best waifu out of the 3 shows they've watched, so this selection looked a bit like this. Debating about who is the best anime villain ever created. Of course, the only options were Madara and Pain. Even in my anime list, I noticed new fans talking in the forums about why some random seasonal show is the best thing ever made, only to look at their profile and see they have only watched 5 anime. Like seriously, I've seen people debating about how Skate the Infinity and High Rise Invasion are masterpieces. Just no. You might be wondering, what's the point of this video? Well, I think that all of us should be happy. Happy that the new generation doesn't have the need to hide their hobby, doesn't have the need to hide their waifus, and most importantly, doesn't have the need to hide their hentai section on my anime list. On the other side of the coin, I've noticed a lot of people criticizing new watchers for being normies, for having an opinion, and for saying My Hero Academia is the best anime ever made. Now, I've got to admit that sometimes I feel that way. And even though I do think that they are missing out on a lot of shows and part of the community, by the community I mean
It's about a brother and a sister that
I think everyone can watch whatever they enjoy, and we shouldn't gatekeep a community. It's still their opinion, and I'm sure it'll change after they watch Kisses. We're almost at the end of 2021, and I can say that it'll only get bigger and bigger, with shows like Chainsaw Man, the last season of Attack on Titan, which I like the ending for the manga, but that's a topic for another video, the second season of Demon Slayer, Made in Abyss, and Vinland Saga. It'll keep growing, and I'm excited for the future. Like you've probably noticed by the trashy quality of this video, I'm a new YouTuber. My name is Giyeh.
Oh, psychedelic name!
And even though my English is not perfect, I love talking about anime. I'm planning to continue making videos on this channel about anime and maybe games. I also make music that I'll be posting later on. Here's a preview. So, if you reached the end of the video, which I honestly don't expect anyone to do, I hope you liked it, and for all the new anime fans out there, I just want to say thank you. I don't care that you've only watched Naruto and Jujutsu Kaisen, because I know that slowly you will continue watching and get addicted like the rest of us. So until next video, later.